Hi, welcome to Manas Shield YouTube channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start the video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link it in the description box, or you can click here. Tensura Volume 20. Chapter 3. The Titan of Shakeout. The evil dragon arrives. Godspeed. Gunther bowed and left. He had decided that he was no match for Dagruel, so he went to help Luce first. Luminas is impressed that he is as capable as ever. Luminas then stood next to Xian. Luminas wonders if she did the right thing, but she has no regrets. It seems that your plan has failed, but you still do not give up, do you? Of course not. Luminas nodded her head in disgust, but in the next moment, she grinned and asked again. Anyway, Xian, are you sure you don't want to run away? Xian was miffed at this question. Of course not. The last one standing is the winner. Isn't it a very simple condition? Xian says glumly. Gadra's head hurt, but she did not seem to have any intention to argue with him. Luminous was just as puzzled as Gadra and Xian. Then leave the recovery to me. Even if you die instantly, I will bring you back to life on the spot. With these words as a cue, they launch a suicide attack that could be called reckless. Xian and Gadra attack in waves, with Luminous providing support in the rear. Even though Xian and Gadra were instantly killed by Dagruel's attack, Luminous really revived them. The power of the lustful king, Asmodeus, is to be feared, but Luminous' precise measures are also impressive. And then there's Gadra. Thanks to his reincarnation as a mysterious race of metal demon, he was able to fight a good battle even against Dagruel. His magic was not understood. The Dagruel's magic nullification is universal, but it is not without its weaknesses. It seems to be able to cancel all the magic that affects itself, but not all the magic that affects other people's bodies. Body reinforcement magic is a good example. In other words, defense barriers and body hardening can be ignored, but already reinforced speed, and so on remain unchanged. Adalman's Tempest Meteor, for example, was erased because the summoned meteorite was an imaginary substance, but if it had been a real substance, it would have caused a certain amount of damage. If we assume that a rock of a certain mass was stored in a different space, and then it was sent up to the sky by flight magic, and then it was dropped, it would be impossible to cancel the potential energy given to the rock. In other words, Gadra's reasoning was that indirect magic cannot be cancelled. And he was right. Gadra had applied reinforcement magic to his body to fight skillfully. It worked. While Xian was down, Gadra moved forward. When Gadra was knocked down, Xian quickly took over. Although it was an improvised combination, they worked well together as if they were an experienced party. Although the most important thing was undoubtedly Lumina's authority, it was a strategy that would not have been possible without any of the other players. Unfortunately, Dagruel showed no sign of fatigue. In front of Luminous, Xian stands up again. No matter how much she is hurt, she stands up again and again, even at the risk of death. She is a person of integrity, doing only what she can do for herself. There is trust in Luminous. She believed that Luminous would bring her back to life even from instant death. That was the great thing about Xian. However, this is not the case with Gadra. As soon as he recovers from his near-death experience, all his injuries are healed, and not even a trace remains. At first glance, it seems as if nothing had happened to him because he is unharmed. However, the exhaustion is accumulating in Gadra's mind. Unlike Xian, Gadra was intelligent enough to think about how hopelessly they were fighting, even if they tried not to think about it. This kind of battle can only be fought with an empty mind. The moment they become conscious of their fears and doubts, they trigger a mistake. And moreover, the opponent was Dagruel. The Demon Lord, who has the same amount of magicule as Fen, but a little less than Glassard, has acquired a solid skill level. He is the most dangerous of the three brothers in terms of overall strength. I wonder if we should stay as he is, or if I can do better. Gadra wonders if he can do better. This is a fatal mistake, and Gadra's action is a little delayed. It was a minor delay that could not be called a mistake, but Dagruel was not so naive as to miss the opportunity. No, on the contrary. It was correct to say that he had been overlooking it until now, but he decided not to go along with it anymore. Oh dear, I thought you'd be more entertaining, but I guess I'm disappointed. With a big sigh, Dagruel randomly punched Gadra. Naturally, Luminous healed him immediately, but Dagruel intervened with a surprising move and prevented her from doing so. Dagruel stands between Luminous and Gadra. Luminous could not recover from this situation, because Dagruel interfered with her recovery. Am I in your way? I could have done this from the beginning, but I thought I'd see more variety in your moves, so I let you do what you wanted. I don't expect you to thank me, but it's not right to hold a grudge against me. Dagruel's words are true. From the very beginning, Dagruel has always been accommodating. By doing so, Dagruel was trying to enjoy the fight as much as possible. He is convinced that he will not lose when he makes a move. Dagruel's power was that great. And yet, he gave the Luminas a chance, because he remembered the words of his best friend Twilight Valentine. Gods have always boasted to Dagruel in this way. The abilities of God's disciples were quite good, but only Luminous was treated differently from the others. In Dagruel's eyes, there seemed to be no difference. In the end, the Godfather passed away without ever telling they why. The sanctuary disintegration mentioned earlier is the special magic that buried the ancestor. However, even this did not work on Dagruel. It seemed as if there was no such thing as a deep trick anymore. Even so, Dagruel himself was playing along with the game, trying to see the power of his opponent. However, it did not seem to make sense. Luminous was supporting the team and showed no sign of joining in the attack. He tried to show them an opening several times, but they just kept repeating the same pattern of attacks. No matter how many times they repeat such childish tricks, it is impossible for me to be defeated. Dagruel felt that he had been underestimated. So he decided that there was no point in going out with them anymore. However, this does not mean that he stopped his vigilance. It was a rational decision to divide the vanguard and the rearguard. You sound as if you were holding back. It's true. Xian was indignant and pressed Dagruel, but Dagruel brushed it off. What are you? You don't understand well enough. Dagruel disappears. The next moment, Xian is silenced by a fist that slams into her abdomen. It is as if her insides have exploded. It was not a rage that would disappear immediately, but it continued to rage as if it was running through Xian's internal organs. In this case, restoration magic is meaningless. Xian felt so. In fact, with the destructive energy remaining there, no matter how much she could restore it, it would be meaningless. Luminous saw it at a glance. It's a problem, she regrets as she bites her lip. What do you think? You must have felt so secure with your protector, didn't you? Gosh, what the hell? You're not beaten yet. Your determination is admirable, but determination alone is not enough. Dagruel kicks Xian in the face in an uninterested manner. Dagruel has nothing against Xian, but rather likes her. He was going to use this to harvest his consciousness so that he would not be disturbed anymore. However, he guessed that he underestimated Xian's stubbornness. Oh, stop laughing. This won't be enough to defeat me. Xian stood up with a wry smile on her face while spitting up blood. I'm getting old as an old geezer. I apologize for misjudging you. He had intended to stun her so that he wouldn't kill her, but that didn't stop Xian. Realizing this, Dagruel stopped being so easy on her. You would have been a little better off if you had woken up. Dagruel says to Xian. What are you talking about? It's none of your business. As if in a final gesture, Dagruel dismisses the question. He clenched his fists. Luminous sees this and shouts. No, stop. Luminous sensed the change in Dagruel and knew that Xian was in danger. However, Dagruel snickers at Luminous. She will die because of your inadequacy. What? Xian tried to argue, but was silenced again by Dagruel's blow. She is not dead, but she is unconscious. Xian was lucky to survive, and Dagruel did not go easy on her, but she could not continue the fight. Dagruel is relieved that Xian has fainted, as he did not want to hurt her, nor did he want to kill her if possible. Finally, only Luminous and Dagruel were left. Luminous finally makes up her mind. Very well. Dagruel, we will fight one-on-one. I will deal with you. Luminous took a stance toward Dagruel. She feels funny inwardly at her own words. Although he was proud of his position as a demon lord, he thought that Luminous was nothing more than a piece of dust to Dagruel. Luminous, show me what Twilight has entrusted you with. If you can't do it, then die. The next moment, Dagruel's entire body erupted in a furious fighting aura gushed out from Dagruel's body. Seeing this, Luminous realized how much she had been treated by Dagruel. Dagruel was not aware that he was being held back, but if he had been in this condition from the beginning, the game would have been settled long ago. He really is a monster. There is no effective way to deal with him, and the only possibility is to wait for Rimuru to come to rescue us. Since the secret plan has failed, there is no way to win a head-to-head battle with Dagruel. And yet, Luminous is standing here. For a moment, she wondered if she should have run away, but Luminous laughed and said that was not the case. What kind of demon lord abandons her friend Xian? Luminous thinks. It's a wonder. She haven't known Xian as long as she known Chloe. She did not want to fail Xian and her friends, and that is why she's still standing here. And then she thought to herself. Rimuru is in a tough situation. He always worked harder than his ability to meet the expectations of his colleagues. For the first time, Luminous understood Rimuru's feelings. Except for Guy, Rimuru was the only one who could beat Dagruel. Or maybe. Luminous had a vision of a free-spirited black dragon in his mind. It's just my imagination. It's impossible that I would expect him to do that. Contrary to such a thought, a smile naturally appeared on Lumina's mouth. Dagruel looked at Luminous with a curious expression on her face. At this late stage, do you still have any more tricks up your sleeve? No, if I had such a trick, I would have used it long ago. Luminous bragged. At least for the last time, she would not run away, but would challenge the strong and defend her pride as a demon lord. Maybe, I also believe in this. Maybe someone will help us this time, just like in the past. In the past crisis, Chloe helped her. It is a miraculous event and it can't happen again and again. Luminous knows that there is no such thing. But they think like that because they have been inspired by the way Xian and Ultima have kept their hope alive. It must be so, Luminous thought. It's really tough, isn't it, Rimuru? Even people who have nothing to do with Rimuru, such as myself, can't help but get their hopes up. It was strange that she could laugh at the thought of it. Have you come up with a plan? No, I don't. It's not like me, but I'm going to try to struggle to the end. Well then, let's go. With a strong spirit, Luminous opened her mana to full throttle. At the same time, she imbues her nitros with the power of the lustful king, Asmodeus. This was Lumina's deadly and victorious fighting style, in which she used her power of death to take away the opponent's life force, and used her power of life to convert it into her own energy. In this state, Luminous was able to kill his opponents. In this state, a slight difference in strength is not a problem, and the longer the battle goes on, the more advantageous it becomes. In the case of a battle between two higher-ranked fighters whose main objective is to drain the energy of their opponents, Luminous is quite superior. Seeing such Luminous, Dagruel was also satisfied. He said, "They are wonderful, even though they are our enemies. They were wonderful people in every way. When they were our allies, they were reliable, and now that they were our enemies, they made Dagruel's heart sore. Really, it's a shame to kill them. But he has to avenge the man who was his best friend. By doing so, Dagruel can fulfill his destiny as a god-killer." This was the secret agreement he made with Feldway through Fen. Dagruel cooperates with Feldway's ambition and revives Veldora. After that, the real work begins. Moreover, the secret agreement with Feldway did not end there. If Luminous is defeated, the entire western lands will be under the control of the giants. If the Great Jura Forest was overrun, the land would also belong to Dagruel. Dagruel's true intention was I can't stop here because he would be able to fulfill his destiny and satisfy his territorial ambition. Before that, his instincts had already started to run wild. Dagruel decided that there was no need for further farce. In the first place, Dagruel begins to speak. At that moment, everything stands still. All meaning had been lost in the act of fighting on this battlefield. Once you've done this, you can't do anything, can you? All that Dagruel mutters, echoing through the world and fading away. Luminous was puzzled in the world where only consciousness remained. Oh, she's conscious. She must be proud of her masterpiece. Dagruel's voice sounded like praise, but a soul-chilling fear struck Luminous. Luminous is wise and well-versed in all things. Normally, she would have overlooked it, but now that she was focused on the battle, she understood what was going on. She understood. Time has stopped. It is despair. From the beginning, there was no way to beat Dagruel. Even though she understood this, Luminous' thirst for life was not lost under the circumstances. She gathers information in order to survive, and this leads her to further despair. Luminous continues to claw her way back, despite the illusion of being swallowed by a bottomless darkness. In Suspended World, even the time of despair is not over. Luminous closes her eyes and regrets. At least, I can take that hateful and irreverent evil dragon with my hands. And when Luminous had thought that much, she thought she heard a loud laugh. That was the moment when Dagruel's fist was about to reach Luminous. Luminous thought pause there. I'm here. Luminous understood the meaning of the voice, and at the same time, she grasped the current situation. A mighty fist looms in front of her. And a brown palm to catch it. The evil dragon who had not been here before, was catching Dagruel's fist that was shot at Luminous. As there is no night that does not dawn, time moves with the coming of hope. Now, just now. The evil dragon that had leapt through time and space, the invincible Veldora, whom Luminous hated but longed for, had blocked Dagruel's attack, which had been hopelessly powerful. The time of despair had come to an end. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it.